What's going on, y'all? H-Talk here today to talk to you about not granted, I don't keep up with football like that. I'm not talking about like American football specifically. I'm talking about what people would call here soccer. Apparently there's been this I guess you can call scandal, or this report, this interview rather, between a footballer named Wayne Rooney, who's widely popular. For anyone who does keep up with football like that, I would like to know, who is this guy really, like, other than he's a successful football player. If y'all know more about him than I do, please let me know. But his wife, Coleen Rooney, apparently was in this interview saying how much she forgives Wayne for cheating on her multiple times during their marriage, saying, "I am who I am, he is who he is." Let's go ahead and take a listen.
I've moved on, you've moved on, and it's, yeah. No, I wouldn't, not the behaviour now, it's not acceptable. If forgiveness is, like, I'd say it was different. I forgive him. But, yeah, but what, it wasn't acceptable. But now it's not something that, you know, if it come up, we'd talk about it like we're talking about it now. It's not, I haven't got the anger that I did at the time.
And she made this tweet: "I am who I am, he is who he is. We are what we are, and that's that. Life is for living, life goes on, life is not perfect at all, and you know what? It's our life, no one else's, God bless." And I want to go back to this because you can see the pain in her face. You can just look at her and tell me that she is, like, clearly fed up, more so than she leads on. But she chooses to stick by his side through thick and thin. And honestly, this isn't what marriage should be about. And mind you, to give a bit of context, apparently they've been together since they was kids. And like she's been with him even before everything, before the fame, before the clout. But honestly, this is a case in point of why it's either, now granted, he's a soccer player. Now, we know how popular soccer is over in the Europe and UK, more so than here. Now, for all we know, he could have, you know, got the bitches in high school as well, like he is now. But if he got him like that in high school, still being a popular soccer player at the time in school, then to me, then it don't add up to me why you are still cheating. It just does not add up. Now, I understand people can say we're human beings, we make mistakes, but cheating should not be one of the mistakes when you're married. Okay, in relationships, maybe, but in marriage, no. Honestly, I think cheating during marriage spits on the sanctity of that word, on the sanctity of that term. It desecrates it, actually, because you make a holy, I ain't gonna say holy, but if you make a vow that you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, then I don't see why on earth you would want to cheat on this person. That cheating shit should have been done before you put the ring on. And the main talking point, the main reason I'm talking about this is a sentiment that is driven through society where, I mean, she did state on Twitter that I am who I am, he is who he is, meaning that she knows his status, she knows he's successful, she knows he's not only successful, got a bit of clout, and has money, and she knows what comes with that territory. Now, that territory is something that's been pushed in society to have us believe that if you're rich, or that any man that is rich, that is successful, and has a bit of clout, he's going to cheat. people seem to push that narrative throughout society. And I think for the most part it's false, because we look at some of the stories that comes out about certain celebs cheating on each other or being cheated on, and we kind of blow it out of proportion as to think, oh, this is the majority, and think that this is okay when it's not. The people who I think cheat the most are the ones with the most inexperience, the ones who never really, got it like that in high school. Now, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy, Wayne Rooney, had it like that in high school, considering he is a football player, a footballer. I think they'd call him in Europe, and it's wildly popular. Like, I would imagine he did. And at this point, I feel like he's thinking in his head, he's never gonna say this, I got her. And what I mean by that is, he's probably at that point where he feels like no matter what I do, no matter who I cheat on her with, she'll never leave me. And we do realize that she could have been got a divorce. And you can see, like, you could go to Twitter and see people in the comments saying, well, oh, why would she leave? Why would she abandon everything? I mean, there's so much a human being should be able to take. And back to what what people think the majority is in terms of society as, oh, if you're rich, you cheat on your wife. I think there's more celebrities than we publicly know, that are rich, that are famous, that are successful, that have never cheated on their significant other. We just make the assumption because their success that they have cheated. People speculated, when was that? Back in 2015, that Steph Curry cheated on Aisha with that chick who went viral, giving her the oogly eyes in the crowd. Like, a lot of people speculated that was his side piece. I just think it's a bad look for us to throw these assumptions that, oh, these celebrities are cheating, when we don't have any factual evidence presented of infidelity. So with us not having any actual facts and receipts of infidelity, how can we actually say that they're cheating on their significant other? We don't know if Jay-Z's ever cheated on Beyonce. We don't know if Nicki Minaj's husband ever cheated on her. Now, even with a case like that, I don't even know what that guy does. I don't know if he's like a producer, like a director, like he makes beats. I don't know. He writes songs. I don't know who he is. They may have known each other for a very long time and they just reunited. But if it was a case where she had the clout and he didn't, then he's really the benefactor in that relationship, and he shouldn't cheat at all. Like, you got Nicki freaking Minaj, you better not cheat. Society does tend to think that if you have options, you're gonna cheat or you will cheat, when I think that is bogus, because you can be broke as fuck and have options. Like, just look back at our high school days. I can't speak for everybody, but there might be a good majority of us that had options in high school, that had plethora of options in high school, that cheated when we were young. And it's important when you're young to go through life like that, to be out here, not really showing any loyalty at a younger age, than to kind of hold it within you for so long. Because what'll happen is you're never gonna get that urge to want to fuck other bitches out of your system or to cheat on your significant other until you've exacerbated it, or you've just vanquished that side of you completely. And this all depends on experience. If you got a lot of women's attention in high school, then chances are that when you get older and you're more mature, you're more disciplined, you know how to self-discipline, you know how to say yes, you know how to say, most importantly, no. When it comes to somebody who wants to slide in your DMs asking you to, be their sneaky link or whatever, it's important to know how to react and to curb that person accordingly if you're in a relationship, especially if you put your relationship out there for the world to see on social media. And the best way to discipline yourself is look at your DMs. If you're in a relationship and these women know you're in a relationship and they slide your DMs still, and they see y'all posted up on, your story or whatever, they automatically, those women automatically who still try to shoot their shot at you, even though they know you got somebody, automatically off the rip don't care about you. They don't. Either they're jealous of the chick that you're with, they don't like the chick that you're with, and they're trying to get you from them as an act of spite, or they're just malevolent people who just don't, quite frankly, give a damn. And when you are able to look in your DMs and say that, all right, these women don't care about me, you either ignore them or you politely turn them down accordingly, instead of giving in to cheating, instead of giving in to lust and trying to fuck other bitches like you was in high school or in your younger years when you're in college. And when you practice the art of self-discipline, then I think at that point you'll be able to curb anybody who tries to take you away from your significant other. In situations like this, where I would encourage any woman out there to get on their shit, to where that if your man does step out, you could easily, replace him and get somebody who you would want. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of men, particularly these alpha male types, they tend to fear women, or fearful of the idea that if she doesn't need me, she will leave me. And so because of that, they pursue women who they know for a fact that they're never going to leave, because they can never fully support themselves. I know people in my personal life who's married and dealing with that such thing right now, whereas they force themselves to stay and stick by their man's side because they know they can't take care of themselves. This is really an outdated way of thinking, because this way of thinking was something that was actually part of society back in the 50s, 60s, and so on and so forth, where women had no choice but to stick by their man's side, because they had no way or means to support themselves, because there wasn't nowhere near as many opportunities in the workforce for women as there is today. Which I guarantee you, if these opportunities that's presented today was available back then I guarantee you it would have been a lot more divorces that would have happened back during that time. I think as men, there's something that is a harsh reality, that divorces typically don't really favor men a lot, to where a woman can take half your shit if y'all get a divorce. So if you are married, it's wise to play your cards right and never have the mentality of, she'll never leave me, she can't find nobody as good as me. Because I think if she can leave with half your shit, then I think that alone should be enough fear and enough motivation to not cheat. I mean, it's easy to not cheat. People who say it's hard to not cheat are inexperienced, and most importantly, immature, and shouldn't be, settling down in the first place. And a couple last things. We do live in a society where people will try to shame men who have options that are monogamous or choose to be monogamous, committed to one person, try to shame them for not delving into their options. Like, oh, are you stupid? Like, why are you not delving in your options? I mean, I'm monogamous, I'm committed to this one person. And on top of that, we also live in a society where people look at women like, oh, you're just supposed to take it. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Just accept my infidelity. I think from an emotional and mental standpoint, we have to really consider, as human beings, we can only take so much shit before we keep all these emotions bottled up and they explode. Because I think what ends up happening is you start lighting the fuse of a powder keg that when it explodes, it's not going to be good news for anybody around in the vicinity. Because if you're telling a woman to take your shit and it's causing her mental and emotional anguish, then eventually what's going to happen is, and we've seen this a lot, plenty of times, where women who end up getting fed up with their man's infidelity, they end up committing atrocious, violent acts. And granted, I'm not one to condone violence, but listen, if you just keep your dick in your pants, maybe she wouldn't be trying to cut your dick off. And one last thing I'd like to point out, like I was alluding to earlier, women who do slide in your DMs knowing you're in a fully committed relationship do not care about you. And the women who do not care about you, you should not care enough to give them the time of day. But with that being said, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Do y'all agree, or do you think that, you know, cheating and being married and being successful is all part of the game and people should just take it as it is? Or are you like-minded like me? Let me know what your thoughts is in the comments below. And till next time, it's been H-Dog here, and I'm out. Peace.